evening, good morning, or good afternoon, where you at, folks. Your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bottom Talk, comes to you live on YouTube, folks. Can you believe it? It's another month, another week, just about gone. Shit, seems like we just started the new year. I mean, it's not New Year anymore. We got I think, about 6 more weeks left of 2025. We just had the Olympia last month, and this weekend, there's some shows going on. There are three big. I would say there's a lot more shows, but the ones that we stick out are some ladies I know are competing in these shows. Is the tomorrow will be the Steve Carr Classic, which will feature women's bodybuilding. Yay! Good lineup. We have at least 10 ladies competing and some of our Olympian competitors. Also, overseas, the remaining Muscle Fest, which is going to be on Sunday. Not as thick as a lineup, but still. And also Women's Physique. And also the show, tomorrow is the Texas State Pro. And that's figure. And, I've been dipping the figure. And this young lady here, she competes in figure. She is an NPC figure competitor. Her name is the lovely Mrs. Kasey Calhoun. And just saw her did an interview with my man KL the Wanderer a couple of days ago. If you want to watch the interview, the link to the interview is in the description. Actually, it's in the comment section. You can click it and check it out. It's a nice interview. She's a nice young lady. So we'd like to welcome Kasey and thank you for her time.
Yes, of course.
All right, young lady. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Kasey, I want to ask you this question. What got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Honestly, I've always liked, anything athletic based, and I've always been more developed in my upper body. And after I went through, like, just honestly, a lot of different traumas in my life, I found the gym as like my solitude. And it was a time for me to put an effort into myself. And I really thrived off of the routine and having control over myself and my own body. It was one of the very first times in my life I took true authority in something and pushed myself really hard, harder than what I've ever pushed myself in something else before. And, it can be considered a selfish sport. I feel like it was a moment for me where nobody got anything out of it besides me. And I found myself in the midst of doing this. I found my personality, who I really was, a lot of self-seeking for my own, childhood wounds and things like that. It was able to dig down deep and find out who I was, what I wanted to fix, and who I truly wanted to be. And I think that that's what the gym is all about for a lot of people. You change yourself, you change your mind state, you change your attitude, and you become a new person, a better version of yourself at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, many times I talk to ladies that gym is the place for them. It was their church, their therapy, their home away from home. I mean, especially during the pandemic. Oh, it was hard for a lot of competitors to try to because they shut down the gyms. It was hard to train, do anything.
Yeah.
Some people learned to adapt, but once those gyms was open, bam! It's like open up the gates of heaven for a lot of competitors. So,
Yeah.
so, so, what was like for you growing up? Like especially being such very athletically well endowed, as you say.
hmm Um, Growing up, I did like a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing. Like when I was very young, my dad brought me everywhere with him on his days off, and we were very close. And he is like a big outdoors man. And so I grew up, in a small town where there was very little to do other than being outside. And so, I was like hooking worms before I was 3 years old and playing with leeches and minnows. I've never been very girly at that. I've always been playing in the mud, playing with bugs, catching frogs. So I just grew up in an environment where those things were normal to, ride dirt bikes, go on four-wheelers, spend time in the outdoors. And it wasn't until I was older that like I had moved and experienced the city. But I mean, growing up, I spent a lot of time outside, a lot of time with my dad doing that sort of stuff. And when I was with my mom, I would spend a lot of time with her, like cooking and baking. So anything that I've learned, like meal prep wise, other than the nutrition part, she taught me to be a very good cook. So I make everything in my meal prep taste really good. I don't find it boring at all.
Yeah, I grew up country too. My family was sharecroppers, and we was kids. We used to go run in the fields and do like this and do like that. We used to take one thing. Sometimes we used to take frogs and put them in a can and with firecrackers and blow. We were twisted kids. We just jump in mud puddles like that. Yeah, I grew up country. I moved into town later on after I graduated from high school. And our town's kind of small, not much to do.
Yeah.
I understand coming from a small town, not much to do, but that's the thing about life. We grow up, we learn things. I learned some things from my father, not much. He was in and out of my life when I was coming up. My mother, she was the one that taught me the things that I need to learn, especially as an adult, how to cook and how to clean and stuff like that. Yeah, we learned
Yeah.
a lot from my mothers. Like I said, my mother was someone really special. This is why I started this because of her, because I was taking care of
Mm,
her for a long time, and this is a great opportunity to remember what she contributed to me as a person.
yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I know my mother was my woman, ma'am. I love my mama. So, so what got you? What got you? What was your first show? What got you into bodybuilding?
So my first show was May 24th of this year. And I started going to the gym like last December. So I haven't even, it'll be just a year now that I will have been in the gym and like considered bodybuilding. And honestly, I had lost a lot of initial weight and I wanted to do body recomposition. And within like 8 weeks of me going to the gym, I was like, wow, I'm starting to look like really good. Like, and I felt like all the time and effort I was putting into the gym, I should be doing something with it. So, like, I looked into powerlifting, I looked into CrossFit, I looked into bodybuilding, everything of the sort. And I just decided that I was more looking for the look of certain bodybuilders of what I wanted to achieve. And I looked up a show and like literally just 8 weeks of going to the gym, I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to book a show that's like 4 months out from now and do it. And then so I started prep like late January, early February. So February, March, April, May. And within 4 months, I was doing a show. So I just deep dived into it and decided I was going to do it. And, anything that I decide I'm going to do, I always want to do well. And if I put my mind to something, I'm going to complete the task. So it was very much like I wanted to outdo the old version of myself. And I did that.
It's really good. I think everybody finds something about bodybuilding that really inspires them as an athlete.
Yeah.
And the other sports like CrossFit, there's powerlifting. Those sports they share some aspects with bodybuilding, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
training. But everybody's different. So you started on figure. Was you ever thought about? There's another division where some ladies get to start in is bikini.
That is where I started. My first show, I did both bikini and figure and got permission from the director to cross over because as I started doing it, I realized that like I was putting on gains pretty quickly and I thought that my upper body and my back was a little bit overdeveloped for bikini and I didn't realize I would put on that much muscle when I started, training specifically for bikini. And so down the line, I started questioning if I should do both and just see where I placed better and what the judges' feedback was at my first show. So my first show, I did 6 different times in and out on stage because I did bikini and figure, and I did both of the novice classes, the true novice classes, and the open classes for both figure and bikini. And I just ended up doing better for figure. And, when I had a chance to sit down and talk to some of the judges, they just said, like, based on my body type and my athletic build, that I would do better in the long run for figure because my body type matched that a little bit better. And I was more developed in my back and upper body. So I did want to start in bikini. I just ended up kind of going past expectation, which was nice.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I think that's one factor when it comes to bodybuilding is genetics. Some people are
Yeah.
built certain ways. Like if you look at the women in like divisions like wellness, some of the women are a little shorter, a little thicker in the thighs, more
Yeah.
wider in the hips. If you look at figure, it's like you have to have those nice broad shoulders, the cap,
Yeah.
the cap, the great taper. You look at physique, where it's more of a leaner, athletic look, and you look at women's bodybuilding, where it's more full of muscle, more
Yeah.
detailed size. It's every every athlete evolves over time. Like
Yeah.
this weekend is the Steve Carr show, and a lady I follow, and I met her and she talked and she really gave me a shout out on my channel a while back, and that is she is number 2 in the world, and it was a great opportunity for me to meet her up close and personal. Ashley Jones, and I met her in Tampa, and number 2 in the world, and she has a great physique. I hope she does well at the show. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's part of the process. She was originally, when she started, she was figured. And then
Yeah.
she did physique for a couple of years. And now she's number two behind, one of my favorite people. I can't help myself. If it tell you about me, I'm a fan of this one lady, and that is Andrea Shaw.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's amazing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm so obsessed over her. I gotta calm myself down. If I ever meet her, I don't know how to act. So I was I was listening to your interview, KL. You also know a lady that been a guest on my channel, Abby Lopez, and Abby also knows Andrea. So how well you know Abby?
I've never gotten the chance to meet her in person, but we've been talking more and more since I've been, partaking in bodybuilding. And I know that she's got a posing clinic going on January 31st, I believe, because she just messaged me about that today. So hopefully gonna get a little bit more time with her in person, but definitely an amazing person, a great inspiration to me, and someone who, you know, on a regular basis, I'll be commenting and liking her stuff. We'll be chatting back and forth, online. And she's just been a great help in seeing her content and, setting a standard for the women in Michigan of how we need to step up, to the plate. If we want to do this, we got to put in the work and effort. And I feel like she really does, due diligence teaching women to prosper in their career in bodybuilding.
Yeah, but quite a few ladies in Michigan. I know a lady by name Allison Allison Corinne, and also Stephanie Jones. She's in that area. Legends like can't forget Linda Murray. She's originally from Michigan. Iris
Yeah.
Kyle, Andrea. I mean, y'all ladies really are showing up and showing out when it comes to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's that experience like? That first time on stage, you got to think about it. Yeah, you're in a little tiny little bikini. You got to walk in front of other people, in high heels. And one of my favorite comedians was Chris Rock, and he say like this. He says, "A daddy's job is keep his girl out of high heels." And he's talking about strippers. I used to work in a strip club, but that's a different situation.
So I wasn't necessarily like anxious and nervous. I was more like I just did not know what to expect because honestly, I never knew bodybuilding was such a thing. I didn't even know that there was local shows. So I really just wasn't like comfortable with the atmosphere yet because I really just like had no idea what to expect. I threw myself into it. I knew nothing about it prior. Like I knew people went to the gym and I knew like, bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger and just kind of like the mainstream, like olden day bodybuilding. But I had no idea how prevalent it really still was and how many people were doing it. So I just didn't know what to expect, like with the other women and how the show was going to be set up. I mean, I didn't even know what side of the stage we would be coming on. And, without having a coach who was in the bodybuilding industry to tell me like, okay, you're going to be coming on this side, you're going to walk to this line and you're going to stop here. I just had to wing it. Like I just had to throw myself in and be like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch what this person did and know that this is where I need to walk out and how I should be walking. So I just had very little experience. So I just didn't know how it was going to go. But like by the time I was there, I felt like the car ride to the show was the most nerve-wracking part. Once I got there and I saw the stage and I was able to see where I was supposed to go, I like calmed down a lot. I was like, okay, I got this. And I put headphones on. I danced and sang in a corner while I pumped up and like I went out to the audience for some of it to watch the show. And I got a lot more comfortable as I was there and I saw what the atmosphere was because then I just knew what to expect. And ever since then, I've just been looking forward to going, back on stage. To be honest, I need glasses. I usually wear my glasses and I had really bad eyesight at the time, especially being on stage with all the lights. So like I couldn't see anybody and I really didn't notice anybody else next to me unless we were behind the scenes and off stage. So I mean, it was just an in awe moment that I was really doing it. And like, I told the director, he was like, oh, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do figure? Or do you want to do bikini? And I'm like, honestly, I'm just happy that I beat the old version of myself. Like, I already feel like I won. So I was just happy to be there and be a part of it because I never thought that I would ever get to a point in life where I would be doing something like that. So it was new for me and it was exciting. And it was just an overall, like, great experience. And, I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think it was one of the best experiences, I had that year. Like, me and my husband talked about it and said it was like a little vacation, and it was fun, and it was something to go and get ourselves out there and do something. And, you know, it's hard with how fast paced life is to get away for a weekend, and we were able to go stay somewhere for the weekend and do stuff and, do my hair and my makeup. And I never do my hair and makeup like that. And so it was like nice to get myself all dolled up and do my nails and do my feet and, the tan and all that. I just thought it was a really fun experience. I felt like a little Barbie doll getting dressed up to go like be looked at. I don't know. It was a fun experience. I would definitely say that it's more fun than it is nerve-wracking, even if it's your first time and you have no idea what you're doing. I had a great time.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. I mean, it's an experience for anybody. Everybody's different experience. Some ladies get nervous, some ladies get excited. This is just something different if you look at it compared to any other sport. Like say you've been in sports since you're a child playing. It's one thing to go out there and to put yourself out there
Yeah.
and to really just like I said, just go like totally blind into a situation that you never done before. And
Yeah.
just mention and saying that you don't even have a coach, that is astonishing because most competitors, when you get into it, you want to have that coach because you really need that feedback. You really need somebody to help you with some things because there's so many things that you might miss, especially
Yeah.
doing on your own. Yeah. We have here a guest here, and that is, and I will let you know who the guest is. Abby Lopez here. She says, "Okay, but I love your cat."
Uh, well,
Shout out
thank
to
you.
Shout out to Abby. If she ever wants to come in, and maybe I send a link, you want to come in and support your friend and your upcoming student, let us know. So, folks, while we got Kasey here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into social media for a little bit. If you want to follow her, link to the description. If you're interested, in her process of bodybuilder, reach out. Genuine interest, guys. But I'm gonna tell you this, guys, and this is no offense to you, Kasey. I do this as a warning to you guys out there. And I know a lot of you guys, like, I'm one of you. I'm at my crime here, Kasey. I'm a muscular person. Oh, you muscular women cite me. But guys, don't do this. No D pics. Stop it. Get some help. What's wrong
I
with you?
swear. That's
What's
so
wrong
true.
with you? This girl's going to be one of my nieces, and me and her husband are going to jump on y'all. We're going to jump y'all. I mean it. I mean it, guys. Have some respect. These ladies take some time to talk about me, and you behave like animals. So we're gonna jump into a social media for a little bit. You want to follow, Kasey? The links are in the description of the live. So here she is, and here she is with her. That's your little doggy. What's his name?
My dog's name is Rogue.
What's the cat's name?
Kiki.
Rogue and Kiki. They get along, don't they?
For the most part, sometimes when like one of them comes in and out of a room, they'll like chase each other down the halls and there'll be like a lot of noise. But they've been around each other for years. Just sometimes they decide to get into a sibling rivalry.
Yeah, that's what it is with cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like is the thing that really makes you stand out as a competitor?
Probably just that like I'm authentically myself and probably very original. Um, I'm not like anybody else I've ever met, that's for sure. And I mean, in a world where it's normal to fit in and not go against the grain and, conform to what society wants you to be, I definitely just do my own thing and I am who I want to be. And I don't people please, I please myself. And I think that I'm very independent in any journey that I take, in whether it being my career or bodybuilding. Like, I've always worked for myself and owned my own businesses. I'm just independent in that aspect. And of course, my husband helps me full fledged with everything that I do, and he provides a lot of help. But I genuinely just get more out of things that I do things myself. And I think that makes me stand out because I think a lot of people to thrive in anything that they do, whether that be work or, extracurriculars, they need guidance and reassurance from a lot of different people. And I reassure myself and I'm proud of who I am. And I don't need or seek approval from other people. And I think that, that makes a difference when you're doing it for yourself and not for anybody else.
That's understandable because you know what? This is about you, not so much like
Yeah.
sometimes people talk about when you compete, you compete against other people, but actually it's you versus you more than less because
Exactly.
you're on this stage. You have to bring your best condition, best shape, and it's a lot of work. I mean, you have to be dedicated. You have to be determined. Here's the thing also about when people think about bodybuilding, as you talk about Arnold, that's one person. Another person is Lou Ferrigno. He's one of legendary bodybuilders. But when people think about bodybuilding, it's about okay, take some magical pills and it make you big and get your muscles. But no, that's more than that. You have to
Yeah,
stick to a diet, have a plan, be consistent.
that's for sure.
Mhm. Now, here's this from her first show. This is the first show, right? This is the first show you did.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, nice. You have a lot of tattoos. How long you had
I
them?
do. Years. Like I started getting tattooed when I was like 14. And most of them I did myself, like the tattoos on my legs, I did myself. I was a tattoo and a piercer for a while. So I experimented on myself a lot in adolescence and early adulthood, and it is what it is. It costs a lot more to get them removed than it is to just cover them up. So I mean, I've just kept them. I've toiled with it sometimes, like wishing like, oh, if I went back, I'd be able to see this more. But once you have your tan on, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. And I mean, I live with no regrets. Life is life, and you live, you learn, you move on. And everything that I've experienced or done makes me who I am. So it's that much more valuable. It's like my battle wounds. So
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies who have tattoos. It's something for them. It's like a badge of honor, something to make things that they like to remember about themselves. I
yeah.
mean, everybody's different. I think me, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't have any myself because I could. I mean, I don't like somebody just But whatever you do, you feel comfortable with. That's you. We have here. Uh, here from Abby says, "Yeah, don't ask her if she wants to wrestle." Oh. You want to wrestle? See. We don't spell wrestle W-E. We spell wrestle RASSLIN. With the apostrophe. That's wrestling. So anything. Yeah, I mentioned the interview with Kale. You mentioned you did some wrestling when you were in school.
Yep, I did, and I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it. I did boxing too, like right outside Ypsilanti, Belleville area. I did Taekwondo. Like I have been fighting since I was like 5, and um, I trained with Sarah Stobie. She's an Olympic medalist for, I believe, Taekwondo or boxing, one or the other. And I can't quite remember because I was like 12 whenever I trained with her, but she is from Michigan and she did go to the Olympics for some sort of fighting and I trained with her. And, I was really young and she was a great teacher, but I've always wanted to do, things that would get my aggression out, so to speak. So it's nothing new doing bodybuilding. It's just a different form of, getting my aggression out. And I've always been that way. I mean, I've been a fighter, and that's just how I am. I mean, my husband can attest to that as he looks at me and shakes his head.
Well,
I don't put up with a lot, so I just have always stood my ground and felt like it was good for women to learn to defend themselves. And my mom very much agreed. My mom is a fighter. I definitely get my bodybuilding genetics from her, and she has an attitude like no other, just like me. I get my personality from her. And I mean, she's an amazing woman, and she's been through a lot too, but she always taught me to stand up for myself and speak my mind regardless of who it affects. If that is how I feel, I need to tell people. And she taught me a lot of valuable lessons in that, and always taught me to be a powerful woman, because she is very much that. So
yeah. Mitchell, is your husband still there? You want to sit in for a minute?
do you want to come sit in?
Yeah.
Want to sit in for a minute? Come in, son. Come out here, son. Say, introduce yourself,
Hi.
young man.
Hi, Well, I'm Troy Calhoun, Casey's husband and local realtor in Northern Michigan, so I can get a plug in for myself if anybody's around.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Like I said, how long you and Casey been together? When did y'all meet?
22, 21, 22.
We started talking in 21. Um but I like fell off the face of the planet and went to jail for a little bit. And so we didn't meet until 2022.
You went to lock up? You like doing hard time?
I
Doing
did.
hard time?
All I knew is she disappeared for a while, and and then we were married in 23. So
Yeah, so Troy, you gotta be worried about. She might be like the booty where it said, Troy, I like you and I want you. We can do the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours.
It's usually the hard way, unfortunately, for him.
Yep.
Yeah. You gotta give it up, man. Give up the goods. You gotta give it up, But that's good that, especially you support her, because a lot of people. I've interviewed some ladies have to deal with, like when they're married and their spouses don't like them getting the bodybuilder. I know a couple ladies when they get divorced for it, but it's good that you stand behind her. Have you ever thought about doing it yourself, or you feel like, nah, this is for the wife?
We talk about it. I'm so busy that the hard part is me finding the time with everything else I do. But I got her into working out in the first place, and I do enjoy it. And she'll probably get into it, but she's learned so much about nutrition, and that's a huge thing that I've missed is the nutrition part. So with her feeding me and helping me eat the right things, and it's helping me get to where I need to be. So, I kind of look at it like, we'll see what happens. I'll just keep working towards my best self. And if I feel like I want to go there, then maybe I will.
Yeah, that's good. It's a process bodybuilding, but like I said, not for everybody.
Right.
You have to make a lot of sacrifices, and they're also investments into your future as a bodybuilder. We have a comment from Abby says, yes, a guy asks me that all the time. Yeah, I think about the wrestling. And also, this is from DJ. He says, hi, you look pretty. So you think you're pretty. Well, she got a husband right there. You got a husband right there. Come on, dude. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you this, Troy. I tell you, guys don't care. They don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't care. So you do got a pretty woman, Mr. Troy. I'm gonna say that. But I'm not gonna hold you long too much, son, because I do appreciate letting me talk to your woman. But what would you say for somebody who's getting into sport? What advice would you give, especially if you are a spouse?
I would say, especially a woman like Kasey, she's going to do what she wants to do. And not I don't mean that in a negative way, but if especially if you're a spouse that isn't sure about it or whatever, the best thing that you can do is love and support her and help the best way that you can, and encouragement, and just being there. And that's helping her to be happy with herself and what she's doing is definitely good for the both of us and rewarding. So, and I think of us as a team, and it's fun to work together with her in these things. And I have a good time when we go to the competitions, and I help her out in the background and stuff like that. It's kind of like I'm a part of it and I'm a competitor, but then I don't have to stress about the being on stage part and everything. I just get to have the fun of going along with it. And I like meeting people and talking to people. So it's just, look for the best in it and enjoy that part of it, of us being able to work together in it. So that makes sense.
That's good, because that's the most important part of it. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You're there for her when she's going through the hard times and also the good times. And so again, this is a sport that can be, especially for a couple or just a competitor, it can be emotionally, physically, mentally, financially draining and take a lot. But as long as she has, you're a good man, Troy. You're a good man. You stand by her. So I'm gonna let you go, son. I appreciate you thanking me, son. You did a good job. You got a good woman here. She loves you. You love her. And maybe someday y'all could be the super couple. Be doing this. They don't do it anymore. Used to do it. Used to do mixed couples. Maybe in the future that'd be something y'all might do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you. Right. It was great to meet you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Appreciate your time, sir. So that's your man, huh? And yeah. And you get out of jail. Yeah, I be looking. I be looking. You know what your time it is. What time it is. But that's good that he's there for you, support you. What about the rest of your family? How they feel about it, especially your mom and your dad?
Well, when I first got into it, My whole family, I think, was like weirded out by it, and they were like, "Oh, you really want to like do bodybuilding?" And they thought that it was like almost a little bit too much when I got down like really lean before like my last show or my first show, and just like the amount of muscularity I had. But then over time, it became like really natural for them to see me like that in my gym routine, because there was so many times that like my sister would come up to visit and I would be like, I can't, like I'm at the gym, I have to be on routine, I'm not going to go out to eat with you guys. And so there was a lot of no's and boundaries that I had to set up within my family functions just because of what I chose to do. And eventually they just became like really supportive, and like my mom even used to tell me, you know, "Oh, don't get any bigger, don't put any more muscle on," like, and she'd be like, "You're starting to like look too big and stuff." And now she's like, "Oh, you look great." She's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do great and you're gonna put on more muscle. You look like you put on muscle." And so the compliments from her have even changed. And like she used to tell me like, "Oh, you're really skinny, like you need to eat more," to her being like, "Oh, you eat so much all the time." Like, and so the narrative of certain things, I think that she's realized how much healthier I am doing this. And that makes her happy because she's not so worried about, am I eating properly or am I doing this? Like, I've excelled so much in my nutrition that I think all around she realizes all the health benefits to it. And it's funny because we even talk about it like, at 110 pounds, I had more fat on me than what I have now, like body fat percentage wise. And she was like, "Kasey, now that you do this, I think that even skinny girls look fat." And she's like, "You like messed up my whole perspective on like people's bodies now, because I look at you and then I go look at the population like here in this town, and I'm like, everybody is skinny fat." And I'm like, "Isn't that funny how that happens? You put on muscle." And it's almost like my mom has even gained like the body dysmorphia that we have as a bodybuilder on my behalf, and she's like paying attention to other people's bodies more, comparing it to me, and she's like, "Wow, you just look so good, like your muscles look full today." And so like now she pays attention to those things. And you know, my sister a couple weeks back was like, "I bet you always feel like so skinny when you're eating right and doing this." And I was like, "I'm not skinny, I'm muscular." And it like offended me. So she's like still learning, like, you know, that like I don't like to be called skinny or like little. I'm like, I want to be like a little monster. Tell me I look big. And so, you know, they've been supportive overall. My dad from the beginning thought it was like so cool that I was doing it. Like he never said anything other than like, "I'm sure that that's great for your mental health," and like my past addiction issues. And my dad really encouraged it. And my dad never worried about like how big I was going to get or if I was going to take it too far, because I mean, I was always a tomboy, and kind of like my dad encouraged me being more masculine in that way and being more like manly, as weird as that sounds. So I think he just thought it was really cool, like that I was doing it. My husband was like the same about it too. Like he would tell me, "I don't want you to get any bigger. I don't want you to get too big." And now we're like, "Oh, I got to get bigger if I want to go pro. Like I got to put on more muscle." And, you know, he's really encouraging. I mean, even the fact that me and him openly discuss like, I want to use steroids and I want to like start using steroids when it's been like a year that I've been in the gym, because I want to be able to put on that muscle and kind of keep up with like what most people do in this industry when you're not competing at natural shows. And like, I mean, he's even encouraging in that, knowing that there could be side effects, and, you know, is willing to pay for me to go through an actual doctor to be able to go to a sports medicine doctor. And I feel like, you know, having people around me that look at something that make me happy, and they're like, you know, even if I don't like it, even if I don't find it as attractive, I still want you to be happy. And, you know, it's really fulfilling having people around you that I've been able to change their perspective on things just because they see the life that it brings to me that I didn't have before.
Yeah, I understand that, because when the conversations is about bodybuilding, it's always goes back to the issue of steroids. But steroids is only part of the process. It's a part of recovery, growing. It's the diet, the repetition, the training, the gains are important too. And most people
Hmm.
don't understand that. I talk to people say, "George, if they took the stuff I took, many people, if they don't follow the same plan and same program as I do, most people don't not gonna look like me. They're gonna look like melted shit, or I mean, and think about the masculinity. Yeah, little girl, I'm a man, I'm masculine. But even though I have boobs bigger than some women, but yeah, that's the thing about this. You have to find something that inspires you as an athlete. We
Yeah.
have your comment. Shout out to our dear friend Abby. She says supportive husbands are the best. Her husband also supported her husband, Paul Lopez, who's also a competitor.
Yeah.
She also says this. Appreciate this from Abby. She says, "Never stunt your growth. If you can't put it on that, put it on." When people ask me if I will ever go into the bodybuilding category, I tell them I will do what my body allows me to do. Yeah, and that's the thing is
Yeah.
I'm doing this process and following sport. It has evolved over the years. If you look at it, like if you were competing back in the day, you'll be seeing like just about like I would say back like the early '80s, you'd be considered a real bodybuilder. Now
Yeah.
you consider more closer to maybe bikini or this new division called I can't, it's called excuse me, it's called fit model. Oh yeah, I just gotta I just just gotta shake up my tongue. But every athlete finds the things that help them evolve and how they grow. Here, shout to my girl, dear Abby. Says, dear Abby. She says this, and I appreciate her sticking in here and supporting her friend here.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
appreciate it, girl.
she says, muscular girls are hot. The more muscular, the more hot, in my opinion. That's not opinion.
Exactly.
Like I said again, like I said, I went to a couple of shows since I met some ladies. There's some amazing, beautiful women in this sport, but
Hmm.
most people don't think women can have both can carry both muscularity and femininity. It's a tightrope you have to walk, especially as an athlete and as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you want for yourself, like as you grow in this process? Like, are you looking for coaches? Like I say, also you're a coach yourself too, aren't you?
Yeah. I am certified like through NASM through their different programs that they have. But I don't really want to have a coach because I'm not able to meet with people in person close enough to me where I learn best like in person. And although, like posing coach would be the one I would be most beneficial having because I feel like that is where I struggle most with because I'm like setting up mirrors everywhere and taking videos and rewatching them and then doing it for like an hour on repeat because I don't have a lot of reference like to go to and ask somebody questions, but it's been really difficult to get any coaching online where I really understand um them speaking to me like through a phone and telling me, well, move a little bit this way or do this. Like, unless somebody is here right next to me, physically touching me and being like, I need you to move this shoulder up, or I need you to move towards this way a little bit more and position your hips a little bit more this way. If someone is not physically like showing me, I have a very difficult time grasping it. I do feel like I've got like my workouts pretty much down. Like I see great gains with them. I don't see, any issues there. And my nutrition is like pretty much on point, like with the, my macros and stuff and figuring that stuff out. So I really just wish that there was more people around my area that did it. But me and my husband talk about moving downstate all the time. And, if I was closer, it would be more reasonable for me to meet up with someone even like an hour away. But right now, like I think the closest place I could go is probably like 3 hours. And that just wouldn't be reasonable for me to like meet with someone like every week 3 hours away. That would be like 6 hours back and forth. And nobody wants to go pose after driving for 3 hours. So it's really just that it's not available where I am and I don't benefit from like online training. It just isn't for me.
I think a lot of people like that hands-on because I even one time went to school online. It's just something different because you
Yeah.
don't have that teacher you can interact with and talk to. But
Yeah.
many coaches do online because it's the way to because they have so many clients. But
Yeah.
you take your time and figure out what works for you, and then along the way, when you get to that level where you know what, maybe you enjoy a move, you find a nice place, you can do a lot closer. You don't have to drive 3 hours, maybe just an hour or
Exactly.
so. And also, I would say keep in contact with some of these competitors that can share their knowledge with you. You can use for yourself. It's
Yeah.
like I said again, a coach does help with some aspects because there's some things you might miss that you don't see.
Yeah.
Here we have your comment from my man here, DJJ. He says this. He says, shout to me. He says, I'm on North Carolina. Do you have any tips for becoming a bodybuilder with disabilities?
Um, Honestly, I feel like disability shouldn't define you. Like, I have scoliosis, I have Crohn's disease, I have gastroparesis, and like many physical illnesses that like I just push past and do. Like, you can ask my husband, I'm up every morning for like 2 hours, like throwing up in the bathroom before I even get out the door and start running. And doing the things that I need to do for the day. I take like 4 baths a day because from lifting my scoliosis like and everything becomes so bad that like unless I'm taking baths and like we go to the hot tub really often to like loosen everything up, and so like I find ways around it and push past the pain. And I just think it's like a mind state. Like if you define yourself by your illness, you will never go past what you think you can achieve. If you tell yourself that that is just, it's basically like speaking death upon you. Like if you give in and come into agreement with things that are wrong with you and say, oh yeah, that is wrong with me. Like I typically don't talk about any of my health issues because I don't want to be defined by them. Um, you know, I'm going to push through each and every day. I've been through hell and back and a lot worse things than pushing myself through being sick to get to where I want to be. So, depending on the disability, I mean, I think it's a mind state thing. Wake up and do it. Like there are people, I've seen bodybuilding divisions for men that are in wheelchairs. There's no excuses. If you want something, you'll do it.
I see a guy who also he has multiple sclerosis. He competes.
Yeah.
I know a lady who I just interviewed a while back. She has a disease where it's a tissue connection issue. She's a fitness competitor, and she's planning on doing nationals in another month or so. I've had know a couple ladies who survived both cancer, breast cancer, thyroid cancer. One lady I know, she had a heart attack, and I can feel on that because me myself, I have issues. I had a heart attack about 11 years ago, and it was at my job.
Yeah.
And then in the past, I have a pacemaker. I have issues because I'm getting
Yeah.
older. Arthritis is genetic. Sleep apnea, because that's something that happens quite often with a lot of people. You don't realize it. There's a lot of things, but I remember I was at one point I was at 500 pounds because I was taking care of my mom for a long time. My mom was sick, and dealing with that, it can be stressful. I mean, and you
Mhm.
find comfort in food. But then when she passed, I said I had nobody else to take care about me. So I started working out a little bit. I hadn't, I used to go to a gym for a bit, but I had a car and the car broke down. It was a car my sister gave me, my older sister. But it's her car. I'm not going to waste my time on it. But I found things to help me in my process,
Yeah.
and to make the right choices, especially healthy choices. We have here, shout out to my man KL the Wanderer. You can check his interviews in the comment section. You can follow him. He says, good evening to your brother. Also, we have my man DJ J. He says, hello, I'm from North Carolina and I love female bodybuilders, but I want to meet them. Yeah, you always say from North Carolina. I appreciate that, brother. Also, and they look pretty too. Yeah, they do. There's some level varies. So we'll like when you're training, again back to sclerosis. Explain, because for some people who don't know it, what's the disease and the symptoms you have to go through.
So basically my spine like towards this side is curved on my lower back, but then also like my shoulder is over to the side a little bit more. And like somebody's neck that is supposed to have like everybody's neck is supposed to have a slight curve in it. My neck curves the opposite way than what it's supposed to. So I have an overbite that is like caused by my neck being out of alignment and being bent the incorrect way of what most people do. And it takes a lot of like mental muscle connection when I'm working upper body and back to make sure that I'm not overcompensating on one side, or if I'm tense and having issues on this side, to overcompensate on the other side. So there's sometimes where like I'll do a few extra reps on this side and I won't on this side, like due to that. I tried to stay away from benching the past couple of months because like I injured myself from going too heavy and found things that I could do to go around it when it is aggravated. Um, I definitely have noticed that my back develops quickly compared to other things. And I think it's because I put a lot of pressure on myself. Like when I'm leaning certain ways, like my head kind of leans to one side a little bit more than the other, just naturally. And so I kind of always am like straining myself. So when I'm working out, I'm really having to think about putting myself in an upright position and not like slouching over to one side and leaning. Especially when I'm posing, I consciously lift one side up a little bit more than the other because they're on a tilt to begin with. So I think the more conscious you are about those issues, the more you can work things in that will help, have less injury, less aggravation, and look more symmetrical when you're on stage. Because I definitely have, like a slant in me. One of my hips is a little bit higher than the other two, and I notice because like I look at myself every day, but I try to overcompensate on stage by raising the other body parts up a little bit. So it's all about the muscle mind connection and truly being aware of it, that I think makes a huge difference when you have a physical issue that might be noticeable, like in posing or in working out. And again, just being careful and reading about like certain workouts that you should or shouldn't do depending on where the curvature is in your spine, and learning, how to work around that and still build muscle. So I do change a lot of my workouts, like from push pull to using free weights, depending on the area I'm trying to like not overwork. So it's all about switching, not like switching up your routine, but not doing the same workout every day in the same place the same way. Because I think for people with scoliosis, that's when you lead to more injury and more tenseness and more tightness, is when you're doing the same thing and overworking it. So definitely trying to integrate lighter training days. I go from doing progression overload to deloading, where I'm not doing as much weight every day a week. And I think just setting yourself up with healthy, realistic goals if you do have any sort of injury or ailment like that.
Hmm. So, as often as my other half would say, what doesn't make you stranger makes you stronger. So, yeah, that's the thing. Everybody has to find something to help them compensate dealing with some injury or some medical condition, because, it shouldn't halt you from succeeding in this sport.
Yeah.
But that's why I'd say that most people won't have that same mentality. That, how I would say, like, the best way quote is the favorite, one of my favorite scenes from the movie Rocky Balboa, when he talks to his son. It says, "It doesn't matter how hard you can think you can hit; it's how you can take the hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's
Yeah.
how winning is done."
Hmm.
Yeah, we had
Exactly.
yeah, we had a comment from DJJ. He says, "I love to listen to Sinatra when working out. Healthy choices. Shout out to my brother XA Gucci 23 coming through. Says salute George Page and Kasey. Thank you, brother. So, what's the plan now? Now, you did your show this summer. Is there another show you have planning now, or you just feel like you need more time to grow and work on your process?
Um, I mean, some might tell me that I need more time to grow and work on my process, but at the same time, I need the stage experience, and I don't want to go on stage once a year and think that that is enough. Like, I went and did a competition peak bulk because I just wanted the stage experience and wanted to be on stage. I plan to compete in the end of February and then again in May at the same show that I did this year. So we'll be competing next year, at least, at the end of February and in May. I'll probably do another show in like August or September, and really just keep it going for, stage experience and learning experience. So I can bring my best self to the stage, even if my physique is not necessarily where I want it to be. I don't want to grow stagnant in something where, every time you're going on stage, you're learning something and it's valuable. So once my physique catches up to exactly where I want it to be, if I've competed 6 times, I'm going to do a lot better at nationals just being on stage and having, stage presence that I wouldn't have if I waited every year to just go compete once. And that's just my thoughts on it, especially because I am self-taught. I'm more motivated by watching and learning in person. It's a great way for me to experience exactly what I need to do and how I need to bring myself to the table, and, being able to feel more comfortable and confident on stage while posing. So I don't plan to let up. I plan to compete as much as I can, and, be in prep and try to follow those things. And so getting right back into it as soon as, the year is over, and go for another season.
Yeah, it's a thing. You take your time. It's ladies to tell me it's not a race; it's a marathon. It's about trying to be finding longevity in the sport. Because some people can go in here like a lot of young people like yourself. They want things quick, fast, in a hurry, but it doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes
Hmm.
patience. It takes understanding. It's discipline. It takes determination and consistency that involves being a bodybuilder, and especially for a woman, you have to work a lot more compared to men because men, we have natural testosterone. We still use testosterone to help us build muscle,
Yeah.
performance has like that. But then I often say like this, the cost of being a competitor. And I've said this often, compared to the men, all they got to do is put on a pair of banana hammocks and barrel shorts and some tan. You
Yeah.
ladies, it's more of a expense, especially on show day. Men have their costs, especially during the season, doing prep. But women, when it comes to show day, because you say you're not very girly, but you have to be very girly. You have to wear the hair and the makeup and the high heels. You have to
Yeah.
come out there. You have to bring both that masculinity. I won't say masculine, that muscularity and that femininity.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anybody other than shout out to Abby? And Abby, shout out to Abby. She's in here. She says this. Shout out to girl Abby says, Woot and coming to posing clinic January 31st. Thank you for that. And she says, I can't wait. Yeah, y'all gotta go have some fun. So other
Yeah.
than Abby, yeah, is there anybody else that you really admire as a bodybuilder who really so you see that you really can inspire you to become the best person you want to be?
Um, I honestly feel like I probably don't follow a lot of like mainstream bodybuilders or people that are like really that relevant right now. I have watched like a lot of the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff and like the Mike Metzer stuff, and I go back to like the old school things that were going on like in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. I watch a lot of documentaries, so I feel like I don't necessarily look up to a certain person necessarily, like of course Abby, but like I don't follow a lot of like the now bodybuilders that are like in the Olympia. I tend to like obsess about the old style bodybuilding and more or less the bodybuilding era. So like I have a lot of respect for the era of bodybuilding, like before the 80s and whatnot, and the people who made bodybuilding what it is today. So I mean, I think that that is what I'm more geared to. I don't spend a lot of time watching that many people. I spend a lot of time watching like the old bodybuilding competitions from like, the 70s and the 80s. So I think that that's more my speed. I like the originalness to it.
That's good to have that. But also, you got to remember that you're in the now. You have to be aware because the process has changed over time. You look at guys
Yeah.
like Arnold. You got guys like the current champion who I met, Derek Lungford at the Olympia. People like Andrea, people like Sid Gillen, who is was at one point the top woman in your division and figure. It's good to remember those old times, but from those old times, we learn to grow and process, whatever, like, but also whatever works for you, fine. But it's also good to be, this is one of my sayings. I like to say this often because one of my favorite movies is the Batman Begins series. I had the whole Batman trilogy with the first one, Batman Begins, with when Ra's al Ghul's training Bruce Wayne. He says, "Be aware of surroundings all time, young Master Wayne. Never give shielding for a kill of never give sure footing for a killing blow." That thing, it's always good to be aware, but also, yeah, know that what you like and what you find interesting about the sport. We
Yeah.
have here, shout out to our girl Abby. She says, "You are the queen of the stage. Own it." Shout out to our man Kia says, all right." And we have here comment from man KL. He says, "Kasey, is there someone in the bodybuilding world you would be open to learn from if you wanted a second opinion on something? who would you be if you
I mean, like, I definitely would reach out, like, to Abby if I had anything that I was concerned about, like, taking place in Michigan or asking about things going on now. I didn't really know her at the time. Well, I had seen her before at posing clinic and in certain things in the bodybuilding industry, but at my first show, like, I didn't really know anybody I could reach out to or felt, like, comfortable, like, talking to that many people in the industry. But at this point, like, I mean, I would probably just reach out to her, because I feel more comfortable with her. I feel more personal to her, and like I said, I look up to her, and I've mentioned her a few times, and the posing clinic that she's having and stuff like that. And so, being able to meet with her when she holds posing clinics and doing stuff will be a great help to me because I can see her in person. It isn't that hard going once or twice every few months down somewhere if I have it planned ahead of time and can work around that with her. And like it's better when you're getting it from someone that you admire and have followed for a while. And I think because I'm more personal to her, that's probably why she stands out to me as someone that I would go talk to or ask questions to for sure.
That's good. It's good that you have a good friendship and bond with Abby. Someone who's understand who's been there is, she's an IFB pro right now. Congratulations to her. And when
Yeah.
helping with the process, everybody needs that one person that can help them get that feedback, especially there's so few people that's close to you and you feel more comfortable with. We have
Yeah.
from Abby says, "You're so sweet. Oh, sweet like a fat kid loves cake." And I know I love cake. Also, this is from shout out to you, Abby says, sometimes when I look back at stage pictures, I realize I do mean mug people on stage. I have no control over my face. You get that mean mug. It's like you feel like that old Broken Court song. It's outside. Think I'm a punk. Yeah. But that thing is, you got to calm down, sweetheart. They don't want to look for no trouble. I'll be like this. I want no trouble. I want
Oh
no
my God,
trouble.
that's so funny.
We got here my man Josh Simpkins. He says, "Happy Friday, George and Kasey. Appreciate it, brother." And my man, he's a hater. He says, "How do you know that she watched Batman Begins, Mr. Ra's al Ghul? As I often tell you, young Master KL, I'm aware of my surroundings at all time. I never give show fooling for a killing blow." My master Ra's al Ghul, the Demon has taught me that. So now, you're taking this time off, you're taking to grow, this is something I ask you ladies, and sometimes I can't help myself. I'm a fat man, Kasey, and there's some things I ask you ladies, like after your last show, share with me. Tell me, what was that thing that you wanted, that thing that you desired, that thing that, especially on prep, you're craving? What's that? Kasey? Come
I crave to smoke pot. I'm gonna be honest, like when I'm in prep,
on.
I cannot smoke weed because I will eat. Like, and so anytime that I'm doing prep or I'm trying to lose weight, I cannot smoke because I will eat everything. When I bulk, I smoke pot because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna eat what I want within my like clean eating. But I did not count calories and like I ate like 3,000 calories a day while I bulk every day. And I was just constantly eating and I was like, I'm gonna smoke and I'm gonna enjoy it. And the moment that I'm like, okay, I gotta drop the weight, I had to put down the weed because they just don't go together for me. Like, and some people have the strength and like mentality to smoke and be like, I'm not gonna eat, but I don't. I eat or I smoke and I'm like, I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to go to bed. And I'll be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and my husband will find wrappers everywhere, empty ice cream containers. Like I have no willpower if I smoke weed when it comes to eating. So I miss that in times where I'm in prep for sure.
Yeah, it'd be like, or the movie, it was before your time. It's called New Jack City. The character Chris Rock played called Pookie. He said, "It be calling me, man. It be calling my name, especially when you smoking
You
crack."
pulled
That's
that
a
up
bit.
so quick.
Yeah, hey, my dear, I've been doing this for a long time. It's practice.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, that's the thing is, everybody finds those things that help them, or those things that could be hampering their process as
Yeah.
you grow, as you evolve. We have here. Shout out to Abby. She's been sticking in here. We appreciate it. It says, "There is a picture of me at the Arnold, rolling my eyes at the girl next to me. LOL. I wish they would take that down." Where Arnold don't. Arnold's not a fan of you muscle ladies. Arnold Like I remember when I was getting into it, Arnold was still bodybuilding, and that was like about the end of the '80s. And I was a big fan of Arnold, but I'm not a big fan who's coming to his politics, who's coming to winning. You know, he kicked out physique, kicked out women's bodybuilding, kicked out favorite from the show. I mean, I grew up watching movies like Get to the Chopper, but I think, you know, everybody finds that person, like I said again, that inspires you, like someone like that. We
Mhm.
have here, shout out to my man here, Kale. He's also telling me somebody does this too. He says, Shannon Staley smokes weed, medical use. Yeah, you know, medical use, whatever, you know, as long as. I think in the state of Michigan, is it legal in Michigan medically?
It is legal here, like, so it's nothing about it, you know. And like I would say and consider I would use it for medical use. Like, I mean, it would help me sleep and be in less pain and all those sorts of things. But man, I have no self-control with food. That's my problem. I want to eat everything. Everything sounds good. Like everything sounds good if I'm high. So
You know, I'm gonna tell you this, Casey. I hate people like you. You can eat a whole smorgasbord. I smell a piece of bread and I'm already gained 10 pounds. I'm a big man. I know that, you know. But yeah, that's the thing about food. It is both a tool and a weapon in your process. It's something that can help you, but something that can harm you.
yeah.
You know, it's about like when you're cooking, like like when Troy's at the house, is he eating what you eating or y'all eating separately?
Um, so I have like So I was a vegetarian for a while, and then when I switched to like bodybuilding and trying to put on more muscle, I don't eat anything with legs or feet or hands. So I only eat fish. And mostly I don't like fish. I eat it because I feel like less guilty about it. I like love animals and I am like a weird conspiracy theorist, so I don't even trust what they put in the meat, I'm going to be honest. So I do feed my husband differently for like our main courses, but our main meals like and sides look the same other than the meat and portions that are on our plate. I have gotten really big into making him like this high protein fruit salad that has like 100 grams of protein in it and like 600 calories. And I simply won't eat that because that's like a big majority of my calories and like a whole meal for me. And I like to break my stuff up and like eat like every 2 hours. He just isn't able to eat like that because he's gone a lot with like his work, and so I'm packing him food. So he just gets like bigger portions like 3 times a day, and he doesn't really snack like I do. But for the most part, we're eating the same. His macros just look a lot different than mine. Like I can't eat what he eats, and he doesn't want to eat what I eat. He calls my food bird food. He says I eat bird food.
I don't know. I used to eat fish when I was younger, but I don't eat it. I like meat. I mean, I grew up poor, but not so poor when you have some meat on a table. But yeah, I think everybody finds those things in the process of especially dieting and training. Not much dieting. It's more of the changing of lifestyle. Being that you're a vegetarian, it's like it's a lot harder to get the proteins when you need for building muscle because
Yeah.
it's very important. Some people would do like creatine. Yes, I think it's a good for building muscle and protein. There's other things that's there's like a handful of vegetables that has protein, but meat is or and fish is still meat. You know, maybe it doesn't have legs, but it does have eyes. They do have mouth. They have fins. So you're still eating
Mhm.
something. So, but it's one thing. But anyway, we're like folks. This is a nice young lady. She took time to talk with me and share her story. We're not going to hold her much too longer. And this doing this by herself on her own is really tough. Again, it takes a special person to do what she's doing and doing it. But you have people like Abby in your corner helping you out. You got your husband, and you got other people that's standing beside you, especially your family and friends. You
Mhm.
know, what would you want if you could change anything in bodybuilding? What would it be for yourself?
Like change. Let me ask more detailed of what the question means. Like if I could change any aspect of bodybuilding or like if I could change something about me in bodybuilding.
Anything and everything.
Um, well, I feel like I probably would like take out some of the category. Like I'm not a big fan of competing. like with people in Fit Model, and that's no like shade to them. We've talked about this before. I just feel like, it's a new thing that was put into, the NPC and IFBB and OCB. And I just feel like it should be something different on its own, like more of a beauty pageant. So that's like something I would change. And it's not that I disagree with them wanting to advance, their, company and their industry. I just feel like, if we're going to do this based on muscular women, it just doesn't really fall into that category. I would probably also just change maybe people's like mind state on, oh, you should only compete once a year. And, there's some people that are super encouraging, but like then there's other people that are just like telling other people, oh, you shouldn't compete, like you don't look good enough to, like you're not coming in lean enough, or you don't look like how you should for the division. But you don't learn until you try. So I don't really feel like, there should be people that give so much negative feedback, because you either get the nicest people who are like all about you and super encouraging. And I haven't experienced like hate towards myself necessarily, but I do see like a lot of women who post like different gym content and say, I'm aspiring to be a bodybuilder, I have to lose like 50 pounds, and people just like tear them apart and tell them that they could never do it. And so I feel like just certain people's mentalities in it, I wish that more people were more humble and, more connective than, trying to like harbor bodybuilding to ourselves. And it sounds kind of contradictive saying that I would get rid of the Fit Model and then saying, oh, well, we should let everybody be a part of it. But I think that it's about encouraging people to put on that muscularity and to bring them best selves and to try it out. But like, what stops a girl in Fit Model from aspiring to do bikini or figure and maybe not being exactly how she wants to look, but going for it anyway, and then getting that feedback and working based off that? Like, that's my opinion. So I wanted to just break it down a little bit more.
That's pretty good. That's everybody has the different aspects of this. Like again, I have nothing against. Well, personally, I do have something against, because Fit Model, I feel like it's just a way to make fast money, get more attention. I've interviewed a couple of ladies who does Fit Model, but they're amazing women. I've nothing against the athlete. I feel like bodybuilding is bodybuilding. It's about building muscle. But again, it's about getting attention, because back in the day, bodybuilding used to be on television. You used to catch it on ESPN. You used to catch it on network on television. But because of always they point the finger at the sport because of steroids. But here's again like this. There's steroids. Like if you heard a fighter by the name of Nate Diaz. He said that this. Everybody used steroids. MMA fighters, boxers, baseball players, football players, Olympians. They use it because it's a way to help them in their process. It's not so much, it doesn't give you the muscle, but you can't hit the ball any farther if you don't have the practice, you don't work in your follow your regiments and train. It's just saying to help your process. Yeah. And again, with the women, you do get that stink eye, because most guys every day. I interviewed a young lady last week where she told me that she was doing her posing. She's an amateur figure competitor. She was posing, and some guy comes and says, "Ooh, that's fucking disgusting." Here's the thing like this, dude. If you don't have to like it, here's the best advice: you pay no attention to it and mind your business. But the thing is, haters going to hate. But I say like this, to quote my favorite character, Silky Johnson, player head of the year. He says, "Let them hate till they can't hurt no more. You doing because you love this. You love this process. You love growing. You love training. Like when you're training, what's that? Your favorite workout when you're in the gym, you say, this feels so good. And that was, shit, I don't want to do this."
Well, before, like, I've gotten way better at doing legs, and now I do enjoy doing them, and I really like leg curls and leg extensions. But I am like an upper body girl, and I like shoulder pressing, I like rear delts, I like lateral raises, like anything to do with upper body, I enjoy, and like I want to go heavy. And I feel like most women are not big on doing upper body, and I'm like, that's my favorite. Like, it kills me when I can't work upper body because of an injury or something is in pain or I tweak something. Like it downs my mental health a lot. I don't get the same kind of like feeling and control when I'm doing legs as I do when I do my upper body. I don't know what it is. And it's like I'm more in control over my legs. I mean, they move me every day. my arms don't move me, but for whatever reason, I just really enjoy the feeling, and it's like unmatchable. And I mean, I just feel like I like it. The pump in my arms feel different than my legs, and I just prefer it. So I'll always be like an upper body girl, and not many women, want to do upper body as much as what I do. If I could hit upper body every single day, I would. If my legs would just grow simultaneously with my upper body, I would never do legs.
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies. They love leg day. I call them sick freaks for loving that because you're a masochist. You love leg day, but yeah, the upper body, that's the important part. You want that great look, especially doing figure. You want the nice wide shoulders. You want the nice cap. You want that great feature. You want your arms to be veiny. You want to see like you got road maps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. We have your comment from my friend Abby. Says, "Let the big girls compete in every comp." I would love to see that. Also, she said this. She says, "We deserve all the spotlight." Yeah, y'all ladies deserve because you know what? Um, Also, I think the thing is about the money thing. I wish it was a little bit. I wish bodybuilding was like any other sport where you can really make a live off of it. We see guys walking away with
Yeah,
a good chunk of change while women are getting like pennies and but instead of y'all have more of a expense compared to the men. But
yeah,
I understand this that it's never going to be equal because society does not see women with muscle as appealing or very popular. But there are guys like myself, Kasey. We love you, pump beautiful women. But there are those guys that can be a little too overbearing. That's why I tell guys, hey guys, don't do that weird shit. No D pics or anything. Be genuine. Be nice. Reach out. Be someone who really wants to like this. If I can do this, and I wish I had deep pockets where I want to help everybody if I could. If I could do
yeah.
this, like sponsorship would help a lot of competitors, especially with the cost of traveling, the cost of food. If I could sponsor somebody, I would reach out to you. I said, um, Mrs. Calhoun, we are looking to sponsor up and coming athletes. We see you have potential. So if you feel like our company can help with your process, anything you need from us, we want to see you grow in this sport. So if you feel like you need anything from us, and if you feel like something that's comfortable with you as an
Hmm.
athlete in your process, let us know. We're happy to help you. Just really know that there's someone here to stand by you, and we want to see you grow as a bodybuilder and also as an athlete.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could do that, but I'm broke as a joke. So we're not going to hold Kasey too much longer here. I know she got a man to take care of, and she got a lot to do, a lot of responsibilities. I tell you the truth, young lady, I think you have potential. It's going to take time. And I know
Hmm.
right now you in your situation, you lived out in the boonies. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I grew up in the boonies myself. It's hard to get the things you need, but if you can find those things, like people like Abby can help you, other people can reach out, maybe help you out, and just really see your process and see you grow and hit those levels that you want to hit for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I
So, like I said,
appreciate it.
well, the quote again from my favorite movie: "You never have to." That's why I do this. This is why we
Mhm.
do these. That's why I reach out to competitors like yourself and young up and comers. Again, I would love to one of these days, like Abby's buddy Andrea. I'm gonna tell you this true story. And this is why I do this because a friend of mine, her name is Eunice. She's right now in Vegas and she's helping out. She runs a company called Bad Rap. Bad Rap is called Big and Defined, Ripped and Pump. They do real products to help out women in bodybuilding, you know. And this is what fuels me when I have people like Ashley Jones appreciate what I'm doing. When I have people like my friend Eunice appreciate what I'm doing. But then when I have someone like the champ, Abby's buddy, the champ, Andrea Shaw. This is an issue for muscle development. This was when my friend Eunice met her at the Olympia back in 2023, and this is your fellow Michigan. When she tells me, George, she appreciates what I'm doing, and she signs it. This is what inspires me to keep doing what I'm doing, reaching out with young ladies like yourself who have
Yeah.
potential.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I said again, I wish I can do more, but giving y'all ladies a voice to share. Me and my man KL, we do this. He's more a fan of women with muscle, not as much as a sport, but I'm a fan of both.
Yeah.
And and this is something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, folks, we're not going to hold Kasey too much longer. I know she has a lot to do. She got to get up, got to do this. What you do for a living mostly?
What do we say? What do I do for a living?
Come
We
in,
we have a
Troy.
joke about it. We have a joke
Come in,
about
Troy. Come on, son. Come on, son.
it.
Get this whooping, son. Come on.
Um, I do dog grooming and like I do personal training, but like I don't have to do it. Like it's definitely by choice because I want something extra to do. Oh, that I'm his sugar wife.
Yeah.
That's
You're
my
sugar.
job. I'm
You're
his
his sugar
sugar wife.
mama. You're his
Yeah.
sugar mama. Oh yeah. But you gotta remember, Troy. She was in jail one time, so so you're the sugar daddy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Like instead of me being the sugar baby, I upgraded to sugar wife.
That's great. I mean, that's good. Again,
So,
that's good when you have somebody who supports you in your process, and
yeah.
you still find something you want to do for yourself. You know,
Yeah.
this is why I talk about this. How people don't understand what it is to be a bodybuilder, and is we go to the shows and we go see competitors. We see these amazing bodies on the stage. We see these great physiques, but don't understand the process that you got you there. The training, the tired, the hungry, the dehydration, dealing with injuries and also other issues. We just see these amazing bodies. Like I know your
Yeah.
hubby there. He's like, that's my baby, that's my baby, that's my wife. And then the guy says like, yeah, that's your wife. She's a tall drink of water. Can I?
Uh,
Hey, that's my wife. Your dad might come out. He might do the guy from Sling Blade. This is a Kaiser blade, not a sling blade. Okay, that's but yeah, that's the thing about bodybuilding.
yeah.
Everybody finds something
Super.
about this sport that inspires them, that helps them grow. It's a lot to learn. And if you're willing to learn, willing to understand, willing to put into work, and you have people like Troy standing in your corner, your parents, your sister, people like Abby who's been here supporting you. You know what? Like I said, the haters, don't worry about them because you know what? They care so much, but we care so little.
Exactly.
Mhm. So we're gonna let her go. You have anybody you want to shout out while you're here?
Well, Abby, because she's been watching this whole time, and I would like to see this picture of her giving somebody the rolling of the eyes. I think that's hilarious. I would post that all over my shit if I was her. I would own it. I'd be like, yeah, I am the bitch in bodybuilding, and ain't nobody gonna mess with me.
Well, she probably knows where it is. She just probably you can go to maybe probably it's probably somewhere out there. All you gotta do is go Abby, you know what it is. Send it to her. She want to see
I
it.
want to see it. I
Yeah,
want to see it.
yeah, share it. Yeah, be sensitive. Like I'm the bitch. I'm coming. This is my show. I own this.
Exactly. She just brings her A game with her.
Yeah, Abby's a great person. I appreciate her for coming in here and sharing a story.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate Troy. Shout out to him. Shout out to the sugar husband. You're sweet, Troy. But again, folks, if you're interested in Kasey, the link description. Reach out with genuine interest, guys. Genuine interest. You want somebody who wants to support her, or if you're somebody who's close enough to who can help her out in the process. If you are a trainer, if you are a coach who really wants to help an up and comer evolve, hit the points where she needs to get to that next level.
Yeah.
Reach out in genuine interest. God, I tell you this truthfully. You get more with sugar than you do with salt. And I know what you guys, and also you like this, you get more with a silk glove than an iron fist. And I know, guys, what you're doing that iron fist. So be respectful. Here we go. Troy is in here. He's in the building. Says, "Don't worry, Abby Kasey can roll eyes with the best stuff."
Oh,
Yeah,
my God.
yeah,
That's
that's your
hilarious.
man. That's your man. That's your man.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
You're a good man, Troy. You're a good man. So, folks, we're not gonna hold Casey. Oh no, I'm sorry, Casey. I can't. He's got to say something before he leaves. He says, "Oh, Casey, I want to tell you one more thing before I leave. And Troy, you can watch and listen. You are beautiful." You know, Troy, if you want to dance with the devil with pale moonlight, I'll be waiting for you. I'm sorry about him. He completes me. So I got. So, folks, we do like to thank the lovely Mrs. Calhoun. Check her time. Thank also shout out to the Mr. Calhoun. Shout out to Abby Lopez, IB Pro. Shout out to
Yeah.
my man KL the Wonder. Shout out to my man XA Gucci 23. My man, here you go, here you go. My man Josh Simpkins. My man DJJ. All who watch this, shout out to my man KL the Wonder. You can check out his interview with Kasey. It's in the comment section. Watch it. Support his channel. Support my channel. Support Kasey in her process. If you're someone who's genuinely interested in helping a bodybuilder and helping, especially someone that's up and coming, show them the ropes. Really do this because you want them to grow as athletes in the sport. Shout out to our dear friend Abby says, thank you. You know, ma'am, you know my saying. You never have to. That's why I do this. And also, he says, ha ha ha, I will find it and send it to you. Yeah. If you do, send it to me too. I want to see it.
We all want to see.
We want to see. We want to see that. You know, eyes like.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know. But ladies, gentlemen out there who are interested in bodybuilding, you know, read, study, pay attention, learn. It's not as easy as you think it is. It's a lot of work, a lot of time. It's not as simple as like popping a magical pill. You have to be consistent. You have to be persistent. You have to be disciplined when you get to the sport. It's not easy. Like the great Ronnie Coleman says, like if everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one lives this heavy ass weight. Okay, young lady, I thank you again. I wish you all the best of luck. And if you feel like you ever want to come back on, shoot the shit, I'm here.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And I had a good time.
Well, that's the thing is, ma'am, I always want my clients or my guests to be comfortable. We have to be informative, also entertaining too. So we wish you all the best of luck in your future.
Yeah.
So, folks, shout out to my guests out in. Shout out to the people who watch. Shout out who share this, comment, subscribe. Follow me on my social media platforms. Also, follow Kasey. Her social media links are in the description. Reach out with genuine interest. Don't be a weird guy. I don't want to hear Troy being like whooping on somebody about his wife. So, come on, be respectful, guys. Be genuine. Anyway, this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, God bless, and see you on the weekend.